Men just don't learn. Men just don't learn. See, the evidence is all over the place. The learning evidence is all over the place. You could have saved yourself from this, Cenat. Listen, why do successful men keep ending up in these traps? Why? How? The evidence is all around you. Let's break it down a little bit. So, if we all heard about the whole Cenat situation. Him and his girlfriend have broken up, and she allegedly has been cheating on him. Allegedly. Not saying that it's true. We don't know. But all we know is that Cenat is a whole different person nowadays. He doesn't seem all upbeat like he used to. Maybe he's growing up. Who knows? Maybe this situation is helping him grow up. But he's not the same. You can tell something internally has changed. Something is going on with him. He talked about mental health not too long ago, and maybe he is going through something, and maybe that situation actually pushed him towards, having some kind of mental health. And this is what happens when you are the good guy. I'm sorry that it has to keep coming back to this, but men have to learn. Men have to learn, but you would think that, there's so many lessons online. You would think that guys understand what is happening in modern society, in Western society. You would think that a lot of guys understand this, but they still do not understand. Money does not add discernment. Money does not add wisdom. You can be an idiot with a bunch of money. You can be an idiot and successful. You can be an idiot and put yourself in a bad position. And Cenat put himself in a bad position. He wanted to be all lovey-dovey with the girl. And now she's a cute girl. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing wrong with the man wanting to have something close to him. There's nothing wrong with the man wanting some kind of, emotional intimacy. There's nothing wrong with it. But nowadays, gentlemen, you can't allow yourself to be vulnerable like this. You see how he's changing? You see what's going on with him? Listen, it took that one woman. That's all it takes. It doesn't take a bunch of women. It doesn't take a bunch of women. It doesn't take, anything drastic. All it takes is one woman to throw you off your game. It takes one woman to throw you off your pivot. One woman to mess up your success, to mess up your business, to mess up everything that you got going on for yourself. Mess up your drive, mess up your ambition. And now he posting online, I'm single forever. I'm never getting back into a relationship. Man, you should have learned that already. But then you can't fault him. You can't fault a young man. You can't fault him. You can't fault him for something that he didn't know. But you would think with somebody like Duke Dennis, you would think with somebody like Duke Dennis on his side. You would think, because here's the thing. See, Duke Dennis may have had motion before he was the motion man. Duke Dennis was already getting women. Duke Dennis get women, constantly. Pause. No Diddy, right? Not trying to glaze the guy, the man. But Duke Dennis gets women. And guess what kind of women he gets? He gets women in relationships. He gets women who's trying to risk their relationships. He gets cheaters. He gets to see what's going on. So a guy like Duke Dennis, he's already hyper aware. He's already knowing what's going on. He's already knowing how women operate. When you have somebody like Cenat, who is not as good looking, pause, right? He's on the shorter end of the stick, the shorter end of the spectrum. He doesn't have as much leeway with women as somebody like a Duke Dennis. See, Duke Dennis can be Duke Dennis without the moolah. Cenat can't be Cenat without the moolah. So two different people, same circle. However, one has a different perspective on women than the other. One is knowing how things operate. The other one is still operating in fantasy land. And he wants a relationship. He wants to be lovey-dovey. But somebody should have told him. Somebody should have told him that if that woman didn't come with you, right? Especially she didn't show you that she was down for the get down when you were broke, when you were dusty, When you had nothing, there is no reason at all to bring any woman seriously in your life. And many don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. There is no reason to get married when you're already a successful man. There is no reason. Not today. Not today. You can get it. You can get what if you want a child, if you want legacy, there's ways to do that. There's ways to do that. There's contracts that can be, listen, there's a whole ball game to that. There's ways to do it. Look at Elon Musk. Hell, how many women he done knocked up so far, and none of them are his wives? I think 1 or 2 may have been ex-wives, but besides that, that ninja ain't marrying nobody. Elon Musk ain't marrying nobody. He just popping out kids. But successful men should not be getting married. Successful men should not be dealing with women on that type of level. Can you have something that you're familiar with? Sure. But she should never have that kind of access to you to where she's embarrassing you. Now you looking like a dummy. Now you looking like an idiot. Because guess what? When you're successful and she have access to you, what makes you think she doesn't have access to other successful men? I hope you know this. What's stopping her from jumping on the next multimillionaire Disney? What's stopping her? What's stopping her from jumping to the other streamer? What's stopping her from, come on now. Duke Dennis said he knew. But that's not something that, see, when a friend, this is your best friend. When the best friends, listen, when the best friends say that he didn't want to get involved, he didn't want to start blabbering at the mouth, that means that he respected, many people may not look at it this way, he respected the friendship more than he respected telling you that information. And why? You was like, hold on, wait. You saying what? How are you saying that? If he respected the friendship, he would tell his boy, right? No. Y'all got to understand. If you've ever been in this situation, you know what I'm talking about, right? When you're in this situation and one of your friends is just so caught up into this girl, he's caught up in her. He's loving on her. You can tell that he's happy when she's around. He's in bliss. But then if you relay this kind of information, it could possibly damage y'all situation, y'all friendship. This does happen. Sometimes it is healthier to allow your friend just to find out for himself. So I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. He's like, well, would Cenat get bad? And it just depends. It depends. But if the signs were there, if the signs were already there and other people seen it, then, you know, he should have been paying attention. But some men are so googly-eyed. So many men just, you know, I get it. You want something close. You want something intimate, right? Especially if you grew up a certain way. I believe Cenat, he grew up in an orphanage. If I'm not mistaken, he grew up in an orphanage. I don't think most of his family was around, if I'm not mistaken, right? He grew up a certain kind of way. So with people who grew up certain kind of ways, who grew up a little hard, you know, love is at the top of the list. They want love. They want affection. They want families to call their own. They want realness. They want these things. And sometimes when you come into this kind of success, when you come into this kind of money, listen, it's a no-go. You're not going to be able to get it. Because guess what? Every woman is going to be there for your success at this point. You're Cenat. Every woman is going to be there for your success and your money. You're Cenat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, could possibly these relationships develop into something more long-lasting? Maybe so. Maybe so. But you got to do hella of discernment. You're going to be hyper aware, hyper vigilant constantly. Is that something you really want? Is that something that you really want to deal with? Is that something that you really want to constantly be battling yourself about? Or you just want to deal with them on a seasonal basis? It's too bad that you, Cenat, you came into your success early on. You came into your success early on, so you didn't get the opportunity to snatch you something up when you was down bad and broke. But you ain't down bad and broke, and you're young at the same time. And it's like you're not going to really be able to experiment with that. And these how these women are, man. These how these women are. This is how modern women are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're successful. It doesn't matter if you got money. It does not matter if you can change their life. Hell, she got a lot of men. You listen, these women will use you. They'll use you to get with other men. This happens. I've seen this happen. I've seen this happen. Women will literally leverage. They will leverage one guy to get with the other guy.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint, PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.
Yes, they will absolutely leverage you just so they can get to the next man, right? Maybe she wanted your best friend. I've seen this done on the lower level. Maybe she wanted your best friend, but the only way to get to him is through you. So she'll get to you just so she can get the higher up. This is how this works. Women monkey branch all the time, and men don't even see it coming. Many men don't never see it coming because they still have this fantasy about love. They still have this fantasy about who women actually are. And in today's day and age, a woman will take full-fledged opportunity to bounce to the other man, to bounce with another man with more money, more clout, more fame, more notoriety, more success. Yes, she will do it. Who's in better shape, taller, faster, bigger digging stick, pause. Yes, women do it. And Cenat is just another man who fell for the okie-doke. He fell for the okie-doke. It's okay. We all have failed for the okie-doke, Cenat. We all have. Travis Hunter, God bless his soul. Will Smith, right? Johnny Depp, Tom Brady. The list goes on. The list goes on and on and on and on. The list goes on. So, yes, you got to learn. And yes, that is a good idea for you to be single for forever. You have too much fame. You have too much success. You have too much money going on for yourself to even remotely get married. You will be handing that woman a gun, essentially. You will be handing that woman a gun if you were to get married. And this goes for all men who fits into that category, right? And then you don't even have to be Cenat, just a man of means, a man of resources. And you taking a chick from, you're improving her life. You're taking a chick from the projects, right? You're taking a chick from McDonald's to 5-star restaurants. Yes, that is an upgrade for her. Yes, that is an upgrade. And not saying that all women are like this. We know this already. But hell, a good portion, I would even say a good majority, are like this now, especially in the United States of America. Yes, they will use you and take advantage of you and spit you out like nothing happened. Now, like I said, I don't know about this. I don't know exactly what happened with the situation. I don't know if the alleged cheating is true. I don't know. However, judging based on how a lot of women are today, I wouldn't be surprised. And Cenat is not the cool kid. He's the goofy kid. He's the goofy lover boy, right? The goofy lover boys don't get no love. They get drugged, right? They get drugged across the floor That's what happens. This is what happens when you try to be a good boy. I'm telling y'all, stop being a good boy. Be a savage. Be a man. Stop trying to be a good man. Be a man. Be a man of principles. Be a man of character. Be a man. Stop trying to appease these women. Stop trying to be a good man. Stop trying to be a good man. Be a goddamn man. And sometimes that means acting in a savagery way. Which means you got women here, you got women there, you deal with women occasionally. No woman can access you on that level. And they understand what's going on. Sometimes that means that. Sometimes this means just digging down their throat and then sending them on their way. Sometimes it means that as well. Listen, sometimes you got to treat women how they want to be treated. Most of them don't want to be treated all goody two-shoe like a good old boy. They don't. They don't. And I promise you, Casadat was spoiling her, buying her gifts, treating her like a good wife and all of that stuff. Yeah. And look what happened. That shit turned her off. And she was probably messing around with somebody else. And she probably got bored with you, with your goody two-shoe good boy ass. That's just the facts. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. And this was an After Pill. Peace.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here. And I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint. PFP life. A way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.